consultants. 1 second. I'm one of the Indian consultants who joined Thermomix in 4 years ago from today. And I just love my Thermomix, and it has made my life very, very easy, mainly because I'm a cancer survivor 2 times. And I was asked to make a big shift in my food. Not that I had any bad eating habits, but Thermomix has made me go back to my roots and like do everything from the scratch, which on coming to New Zealand, I'd gone a bit lazy and started buying all those food packets. And I'm back to square one, and I'm enjoying my Thermomix each and every day. And when Michelle told me if I could share my little bit of knowledge about Indian cooking, I said, oh yes, I would love to do that. And so here I am with you all this evening. We are only making 2 dishes today. Maybe I'll do some more on Wednesday, and then I'll be just talking in between during the week. So I'll start, Michelle.
Yes, yeah, you start, please, Shernaz. And thanks so much for being willing to share all your wonderful knowledge with us. I'm excited to see what you have to share with us. Let's go.
So today we have planned to do the garam masala, which is one of the important spices of Indian cooking. You will always have it in all Indian houses. And then we are going to do the chole. Chole is like chickpea curry. So different people eat chickpeas in different ways. So we Indians make a chickpea curry, and when I eat it at the end, I'll show you how we eat it in different ways. So just watch out for fun. I'm going to start with garam masala. I'm sure most of you must be having a Thermomix with you, or if you don't have, get in touch with Michelle and she will take you through about how to get it on your bench, but you must have it, is my opinion. So I'm going to start with garam masala, and you just say, start cooking. And it says, place cinnamon quills and everything. So what I'm going to do is I have put everything ready in a plate. And if you can see all my spices, it's cinnamon quills, it's coriander seeds, cumin seeds, black cloves, cardamom seeds, then bay leaves from my neighbor's garden. Yeah.
According to SendHealth.com, the main news, research into the health application.
Don't worry, I will find the culprit and mute them.
Okay. I thought it's my computer making some noise. So I'm just going to put all of them together because it keeps saying 2 cinnamon quills, 1/4 teaspoon cardamom powder, and then 1 tablespoon whole cloves, and 1 tablespoon cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon black peppercorns, 2 bay leaves. So insert all of them into the dish. So I'm just going to put all of them into my. So while you are seeing what I've put, you get this brand of cardamom seeds in an Indian supermarket. So if you go for this, am I holding the packet on? Okay. This is the brand which I use. So we normally use seeds, or if I have some time, I will grind it and use it as a powder in all my desserts. So that's the cardamom seeds.
Is that the black cardamom seeds?
Yeah, it's the black. No, it's the cardamom seeds from the green cardamoms.
Okay, so what are they? Small, also small in size, because there is a big black cardamom. So what's that one for?
Cardamoms are very, very strong, and we use that for making paste and all that, not for dry powders. So this is the seed from the green cardamoms. I just bring this packet occasionally. Otherwise, I use the whole green cardamom with the skin on, because Thermomix grinds it all for us. So we don't need to use the seeds specifically. But I just brought this for something else, and I have it with me. So I just thought I'll show you. So I'm just going to say next, and on. And it says, turn to speed selector 1. So it's going to roast for us. I would normally roast it for more time. If it was me, I would roast it for around 5 minutes, but 2 minutes is also okay as per the Thermomix recipe. So we'll just wait for the roasting to take place. And while this is on, if you want to see what's the next step, there are 3 dots on your Thermomix screen. So you can go onto the 3 dots and see the recipe detail. And if you go down, it tells us what happens after the roasting. So it's dry roasting, allow it to cool, and then insert measuring cup and so that's the next step. So if you just click on this, you go. And if you want to keep your things ready while you're this step doesn't apply to this recipe. Next thing, it will, like, you keep your things ready, so you keep either you keep running to the pantry or keep everything ready on your kitchen bench and just go, because it really does work very well. So while it's roasting,
Shernaz, I have a question. What someone has asked, what was the brand of the seeds that you showed us, please?
Ramdev,
How do I spell that?
Ramdev.
Ramdev. Okay, and it's black, and it's cardamom.
Yeah, cardamom seeds.
Cardamom seeds.
If it's not available, please feel free to use the green cardamom in this recipe. With skin on, it doesn't matter. It gets grinded all, and it gives a beautiful aroma to your food. So, and the green cardamom is also has a lot of medicinal value. So please feel free to chew on it. It gives it's also a mouth freshener for Indian.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool. I'm making little notes in the chat box.
The bell tells us, please come back. And it says allowed to cool slightly. So I'm just going to open the lid and I'll just show you how the spices have roasted. I'm sure you all can only see it. You all cannot smell, but I can smell it. I just love the smell of these spices. I make a whole lot of spices. My kitchen, I cannot show you, but it has a whole lot of dry spices made. So like on a day when I don't want to cook my main dishes, I'll be busy doing all these things. And I'm going to say next, insert measuring cup, and then turn speed on to speed 10. And that's it. And within 1 minute, yes, garam masala will be ready.
It doesn't need to be on, it's very hot. You hot enough?
So whilst Shernaz is grinding, I am grinding her spices and her seeds in there. So what other things could we be using in our Thermomixes to grind and mill? I know some people use coffee beans and mill their coffee in the Thermomix. What other things have you used your Thermomix? Pop them in the chat box for us. Diane has milled almonds to make almond flour. Awesome.
There you go. The garam masala is ready.
Sugar, chickpea, to make chickpea flour. We're just talking about other things that we could be milling in the Thermomix, Shernaz.
Quite a lot of flours. So I bring the whole grain, the whole wheat grain from the Indian market. This is the garam masala. If you all can see, I'll let it cool. And then this should last me, in my house, it would last me for a week or week and a half, because all my food has garam masala in it. Whether the Thermomix recipe says it or not, I will.
Oh, really? You always add garam masala. And how much do you usually add? Like a teaspoon or two?
A teaspoon. If the recipe doesn't call for it, but if the recipe calls for it, because it gives just immense flavor to your food. It will be on my salads. It will be on quite a lot of foods for us. And I won't make it a full powder, because this is the consistency that I like. So if you want to make it very powdery, please feel free to run the Thermomix for another 30 seconds, and that should be okay. I'm just going to leave it to cool, and we'll start with the next recipe. Thanks to my Thermomix, which as a consultant, I managed to get the second bowl, and I'm going to start with the next. So that's the garam masala, and we go back finish. So we are going to do the chickpea curry. It is a very good favorite dish in my house, because you can eat it with rice, you can eat it with rotis, you can eat it with puris, you can eat it with potato patties. over served with yogurt and chutney on the top. So it is just an amazing curry to be eaten in various ways. Some people love to eat it with rice. So it all depends how you like it. So I'm going to say start cooking, and it says 20 grams of chickpea flour. Now, this is the chickpeas which I get from the Indian market, and it is written already roasted. So I just get these chickpeas and I grind it for mill it for 1 minute no, not even 1 minute, 30 seconds, and just speed 9. And the chickpea flour is ready for use because we use a lot of chickpea flour in a lot of other curries also. So I'm just going to cook. So this is the consistency of the chickpea flour milled for 30 seconds. So I'm just going to mix the stir. And
So if you want, and so is that a very fine texture?
yes, it is a very fine texture. 30
Texture.
seconds. Yeah.
30 seconds is enough for that, is it? Yeah.
And this was 250 grams of chickpea in my this. So if you want 500 grams, maybe I normally do all my milling for 250 grams every time. So that gives me a texture. Yeah. So I'm just going to miss this step because we have already milled it. So transfer it into a bowl and keep it aside, which I've already done for you. So 40 grams of ghee. So that's the beautiful ghee, which we have grown up making at home always. But with Thermomix, it's become a pleasure to make it because it's just pull the recipe and say ghee, and there you go. So I do it at the end of the day because Thermomix will stop by itself and I don't have to worry about getting up. So I'll start this at night and then let my Thermomix do its job and go to sleep, not to worry about it.
That's a wonderful suggestion. And Shernaz, so if you didn't have a Thermomix, how did you used to make ghee?
Collect all the cream from the milk. We collect till the pot fills up. And then one day we'll take that big pot and put it on the gas and keep stirring it till the milk separates and becomes ghee on the top. So it was almost an hour, 2-hour job for us. So we used to just do it once a month because to collect that kind of cream was also a lot of milk used to be required.
Absolutely. Thanks, you.
Tell speed to speed selected 2, and it's going to heat the ghee. So if you don't have ghee, please feel free to use any oil. It doesn't change the taste of the food. Not so much. Ghee just adds a good flavor to the food and a good aroma. But if you don't have ghee, please don't say, oh, I don't have ghee and I'm not going to cook this dish. There is no such dish in Thermomix which you have to stop cooking because you don't have that ingredient with you. You just swap it with something or the other, or you just let go. Like for me, I don't eat onions and I don't eat garlic. So you will see that today, instead of onions, I'm going to add white cabbage to my chickpeas. And because I don't eat garlic, I'm just going to skip that garlic. So wherever there is garlic in food, I'll either add ginger or I'll just skip the garlic. So I don't have garlic paste in my house and I don't have garlic and onions in my house. It's just me because the treatment that I'm doing with high dose vitamin C for my cancer, garlic and onions don't agree with the treatment.
Wow.
Doesn't make a big difference.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. So if you make ghee, I see Esther's asked, how long should it be able to keep do you keep it in the fridge or?
Keep it outside on my bench, on my gas, and it lasts me for around 6-7 weeks. Of course, the ghee will not last because it gets over. But otherwise, if you don't use it, it will last you for if you use it only very sparingly, it will last you for 6-7 weeks. It will not go bad. It's the weather of New Zealand that allows the ghee to stay very nice. And I leave it outside because then it's easy for us to measure rather than take a big scoop out of the fridge and then wait for it to melt.
So it stays quite soft if you keep it outside of the fridge.
Yeah, it stays quite soft. And if you want to keep it in the fridge, feel free to keep it. Some people make small cubes and then put it in the freezer and then use it. So it all depends upon how you would like to, but I keep it in a jar. It's easy for me to do. Yeah. So we use ghee for scrambled eggs. We use ghee in our dals for making all the tadkas. Like tadkas is just like seasoning of your food. So we'll cook something and then, oh, it's not tasting what it has to. So we'll take a spoon of ghee and we'll add some spices to it, and that becomes your seasoning. And then you just pour it over our food. And there you go. The taste of the dish just changes. So it all depends how you like to use it. As a child, I have eaten ghee on my roti with sugar, with palm sugar. So I'll talk about it. So 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. So that's my cumin seeds and fennel seeds, which are, fennel is from my garden. I don't know if I can see it. Yeah. So I'm just going to, it's because the next step is 1/2 teaspoon of fennel seeds, and I'm just going, and I can hear the crackling inside. So I'm going to insert the measuring cup again. And it says 40 seconds on speed 1. So it's going to crack further. If you,
So Shernaz, I've got a question from Sandy, and she says she has some chickpeas, but they aren't roasted. Could she use them like that in the recipe, or would you suggest she roasts them on a pan on the stove first?
if she has a Thermomix, all she has to do is roast it for 5 minutes on 120 and speed 2.
Perfect. How easy is that?
Very easy. So I normally, even the tandoori paste and all that we make, though the recipe doesn't tell us to roast, we Indians always roast our spices. So
Why do you do that?
just to retain its freshness and to give that aroma out in the food.
You reckon by roasting it, you get a better aroma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the shelf life will improve if you have roasted your spices. Because way back in India, the weather didn't support, like, you used to get all those little white things in your spices and all that. So that's why our forefathers have taught us to roast the spices and keep them. So it says 1 pinch of asafoetida. I don't like asafoetida, so I'm just going to miss it. Asafoetida is also known as hing, H-I-N-G. And it's like, it gives a good flavor, but I don't like it, so I don't use it. So stir well with the aid of spatula. I'll just show you how the seeds have crackled inside, if you can see it. But it smells beautiful, and this is going to be my dinner today. So
That's the nice thing about making these workshops at this time. There's your dinner all ready for you.
Yes. And now, as I said, it says 300 grams of red onion, but I'm not going to use red onions. I'm going to use cabbage. And I've just cut it into big pieces.
Could you use green onion or spring onion if you wanted to?
Yes, you can, but not the spring onion, just the white part of the onion you can use. Or you can use kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is also another type of an onion. Or you can use courgettes, or you can use carrots, whatever you like. Just because the onion is normally a part of the gravy, so it's not a big this. So 1 tablespoon of ginger paste. The ginger paste is of course made in our Thermomix. 2 teaspoons of garlic paste, which I'm going to miss, and insert measuring cup. On for 5 seconds on speed 7. So that's your chopping. Anything speed 5 seconds, speed 7, 3. I'll show you how beautiful the cabbage has been chopped. So I wouldn't put all 300 grams just to replace the onions, because the onions were 300 grams. So I've just replaced it for 175 grams of cabbage. So I'm just going to mix it. It chops beautifully.
Oh, that's the best function, that chopping function. I tell you, it's so fast. My favorite function.
Everything. So 400 grams of canned chopped tomatoes. Just now the tomatoes are really expensive. So otherwise I would have used fresh tomatoes, 400 grams. So I'm just using the chopped tomatoes inside.
Esther was just mentioning with her ghee, she only had her ghee on her kitchen bench for 3 weeks, and then it went off. So do you think maybe she hadn't cooked it long enough, or what do you think could have happened there?
I don't even cook it for 2 hours as per the Thermomix recipe. I cook it for 1 hour and 30 minutes, and my ghee never goes off. I don't know if she has used a wet bottle or used, I wouldn't know that.
Maybe the container was contaminated.
Maybe that could be the only reason. Otherwise, ghee doesn't go off that quickly. It never goes off because, you know, ghee is also used, like if you get burnt while cooking, we take a little bit of ghee and apply it immediately on our this so that you don't get the red spot.
Oh, really?
Yes. So 1.5 teaspoon of salt. I'll just go through the recipe because it's all mixed in one bowl for me. Otherwise, I would have to put a whole lot of bowls on my bench. So it's 1.5 teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. I make my own chili powder because I just bring the Kashmiri chilies and I just grind them. But please, if you all have not done this, please do not do it, because if you open the lid by mistake, you'll be sneezing all the rest of the evening or the rest of the day. So please put your, this, we have grown up making all these things at home. So please do not do it if you all have not done it ever.
Can I ask the difference between Kashmiri chili and other chilies? Because there's
hot, not very hot.
So they've got more of a flavor without the bite heat.
Yeah. So that, and because it's Kashmiri red chilies, you can just be a little generous in adding your this. But of course, I don't know about you all, but we are like quite generous in eating.
Yes. And so where do you get your Kashmiri chilies from, Shernaz?
In shop. But when
you're local, you're East Auckland, so the local bin inn has Kashmiris?
Bin inn would have, or any shop in Pakuranga. The Indian shop in Pakuranga has it. I don't know if you go to Pakuranga. Home Sign has it. Yeah. So okay. Quite Gilmore's has it. Gilmore's has it. If Gilmore's is close by for you.
So, most Indian shops would have, then they'd know where we could find it.
There will be 2 types, so hot and normal. So just use the normal chilies. Say normal Kashmiri red chilies. Okay. Yeah. So then the next one is 10 grams of ground turmeric. I make my own turmeric powder also. So I go and buy the turmeric, whole turmeric from bin inn, or again, it's available in an Indian shop, and I grind it for 1 minute on speed 10 and done. So here you know that there is nothing mixed in this turmeric. And then there is 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. So all that is done by me at home. Black pepper and mango powder. Mango powder is a spice available in an Indian shop. So I'm going to put all of this inside. And 1.5 teaspoon of the garam masala, which was already added to my bowl. Add the reserved basin flour. So the basin flour is just the thickener to the curry. I'll share a tip while this is cooking. So insert measuring cup. And it's going to cook for 10 minutes on speed 2. Can you hear me while the Thermomix is working? If you can. So I'll share you a tip with you. If you don't have the chickpea flour, and if your gravy, if this particular gravy has become watery, just take a few chickpeas from the cooked ones, just smash them and add it to the rest of the gravy. Your gravy will become thick, so you don't have to worry, oh, I've put water, let me put it on the gas to burn out the extra water. Or take a mashed potato and just put it inside and your gravy becomes nice and thick. So this is just a little tip from me. For any gravies, if my gravy goes little thin, when you have cooked beans, this is what we do. So you just mash them, put it inside, or if you have a boiled potato in the house, put a potato in it.
Sorry, just say that again. So if your gravy goes a bit watery, and you've got some potato.
If you've got, I don't know about you guys, but I always have 2 to 3 boiled potatoes in my fridge. It's always there. So just smash the potato and put it inside, and your gravy becomes nice and thick. Okay. Yes, so we do it for all the dals and all the lentils that we cook. If it goes thin, don't have to worry or don't have to put the pot on the gas and let the water evaporate. Just put this. These are little tips from my grandmother. shared it.
Appreciate those. And what about almond flour? Somebody was asking earlier if we didn't have chickpeas, could we use almond flour in this particular recipe?
Used it personally, but I guess you can. Maybe it would give the almond taste in it, but I guess you can use it. I've not, as I said, if I don't have chickpea flour, I would normally smash a few chickpeas out of this gravy and just put it inside so that gravy becomes thick. That's a better option rather than putting almond flour, because everybody doesn't like the taste of almond in everything. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
I've got people saying maybe they could use cashews, ground cashews.
Yeah, maybe but then again has to be grounded, definitely.
Yeah, it has to be ground. So possibly that would be a good alternative.
Cashew flour would be good. Cashew flour would be good. It would not taste, it would not
It won't be the same, yeah, and expensive.
Or ground chia seeds. I've not tried it as well, so please, I've not tried it, because we as Indians, we always have chickpea flour in our house. We have chickpea flour, we have, I've got arrowroot flour, I've got rice flour, and I've got wheat flour in my house. So it's always there. So if this is not there, then I'll put this, if this is not there. And then, as I said, potatoes is my last option. If the gravy goes thin, smash the chickpeas, the cooked ones, or add the potato and just eat it. Make it up. Yeah. If your gravy is here, yeah, somebody is putting smashed chickpeas or smashed cooked potato. Yeah. Any questions, my friends?
There have been lots of questions, which is wonderful. We love questions. Any other questions for us, guys? I think I'm on top of all the questions. We have a new one here. So Alicia's saying if you use ground chia, it makes it like a jelly consistency, which will make your gravy go a bit gluggy. So that's the only thing about the chias. Yeah. Thanks for that, Alicia. I have made you co-host, Alicia. Lots of other messages. What's your flavor recipe?
Favorite. Is it favorite or flavor?
Must be favorite.
Oh, favorite. From Thermomix, is it, or otherwise? For me, everything is my favorite. I love food. So wherever there's chicken, I will miss out the chicken and just put anything that comes into my head. So I'll have paneer or I'll have tofu in it, and otherwise I'll add some capsicum, whatever mixed vegetables. Or if nothing is there, potatoes are always there. So potatoes and carrots are the go-to thing in my vegetables, because I love food irrespective. So without Thermomix also, I was a very good cook, and with Thermomix, it has just given me more opportunity to cook food across the world, because we used to go to restaurants to eat Malaysian and to eat Chinese and this, but now no more going anywhere. So it's like, travel the world in your own house. That's what I have learned from my friends. Yeah.
Shernaz, if you don't mind, I'm going to share the screen just for a minute, because I'd like you to tell us, there are so many garam masala recipes. Which is the one that you have used today? Are you okay if I do that quickly?
Sure.
So I'll go on to Cookie Do. Can you see that screen?
Yes, I've used the 10 minutes one. This one.
First one here?
Yeah.
Or this one here?
No, the first one. Yes.
One.
Yeah.
So this is the 10-minute garam masala here, guys. This is the one. So I'll pop this little recipe into the chat box. Thank you. I love how we can share screens like that. It's so...
Thanks. So I've got 4 minutes more while this is cooking, and I hope I'm in time.
You're doing a fantastic job. And if people need to leave at 4:45, they know that they are welcome to do so. We are recording it, and I am adding, with my guest's permission, onto my YouTube channel, which is Thermi Live. So I'll put that here, Thermi Thermi Life New Zealand. That's the YouTube channel where I am uploading our cooking videos onto. Yeah.
Lovely, Michelle. I learned something from you.
I'm learning every day. The brain doesn't stop.
Yeah, and for we consultants, the Zoom thing has become so new, like from last year lockdown. Suddenly we had to just skip to Zoom and, oh my God, who's going to buy the Thermomix without tasting the food? That was the first question which came into my head. But when we saw how people had embraced this technology, it really made me confident that, oh yes, Zoom means Thermomix is talking for itself. It's best you see it in person, but please, if you're still thinking of getting it, don't wait for it. The food will always be, and we consultants will always come once the lockdown is over. We'll come and do a friendly visit and see what we can do for you, or invite you to our lots of classes in person and a lot more, isn't it, Michelle?
Absolutely, Shernaz. Tell us, why don't you share with the group what you and Catherine and the other team are doing on Thursday?
Yeah. Okay, on Thursday, we are doing a basic pantry, what is it? Yeah,
Pantry basics?
Yeah, pantry basics. Yeah, we are doing our pantry basics. So pantry basics, so we are going to do condensed milk, we are going to do a stock paste, we are going to do all the spices, milling of a gluten-free flour, which because that's the major thing today, that people go and buy so much of expensive things just because it's branded gluten-free, but otherwise it's so easy to make all these things at home. So we are going to do quite a few things, like garam masala is there under this. I'm going to do the condensed milk. We're going to do 9 basic dishes from the pantry. So watch out for our class. I can share the link with you, Michelle, and you can share it with this. If they like to join in, please feel free.
Absolutely. We'll do that. Thank you. What else do we have happening this week? So we have our workshops every day, and use the same link to join. That keeps it easy and simple. We like easy and simple. That's why we have a Thermomix. And join us each day. And we have a virtual cooking demo on Wednesday evening at 7:30 that my team is running. Those are usually for people that haven't seen a Thermomix before and would like to know more about the functions in that. So if there's anybody you know that you think might be interested in seeing a demo from the comfort of their own home, you're welcome to invite them along to that virtual. Just send me an email in response to your registration link and I can hook you up. So how much longer do we have there, Shernaz?
We have got 45 seconds. So I'll talk about the chickpeas. So I don't have canned chickpeas. I actually, because the Thermomix allows you to slow cook, what I did was I had slow cooked my chickpeas, and look at the perfect chickpeas that have been slow cooked. So slow cook is a mode in your Thermomix. Please use it, friends. It's such a beautiful mode. And then there is a blade cover which fits onto the Thermomix, and so I did this chickpeas. I soaked them early morning yesterday, and at night before going to bed I just put the chickpeas, because I've got 2 Thermomixes. I put one over there, and in the other I made ghee this morning. So 2 Thermomixes on, and I went to bed. There's nothing to get scared about. So add 20 grams of lemon juice. Now this is a tip from me. I had used the pit, not the pit, sorry, the skin for a dessert yesterday. I didn't feel like throwing out the lemon, so I'm just going to put the whole lemon pieces in this, because it's just lemon juice. Honestly, it tastes amazing.
I love that.
Yeah. And 800 grams of canned chickpeas, as I showed. I wouldn't use canned, and it says if you remove the water, it will come to 500. So I'm just going to cover.
So Nikki's asked, if you are soaking chickpeas, so do you have to soak the chickpeas before you slow cook them?
Yeah. Overnight?
You soak them overnight. Gosh, it's a long process.
No, otherwise soak it first thing in the morning before you go out in bed.
Oh, so soak them in the morning and then pop them on to slow cook in the night.
Yeah.
And how many hours slow cook? 8?
Please, this one ran for 2 hours.
2 hours. And so is there chickpea, slow cooked chickpea recipe in Cookie Do that you can follow?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I did not know that. Thank you.
Okay. And now this is going to run for another 10 minutes on speed 1, and it's on reverse so that your chickpeas don't crush. Even if it crushes, friends, don't worry, just eat it. It tastes nice. So I'm just going to put it on speed 1, and it's going to cook. So on Wednesday, Michelle has asked me to do something else for you, and I have chosen to make another beautiful vegetarian. It's not a curry, it's called sabji. So sabji is like with sweet potato, potatoes, carrots, and all those things. And we make a everyday Indian curry paste, which is like a go-to paste in my fridge because you can make so many things with that paste. So I'll talk more about it on Wednesday when we meet, but I don't know what else Michelle has planned during the week as a part of Indian cooking, Michelle. I can share some tips with you while the chickpeas are cooking.
Yes. What are the other things we've got cooking? We have Alicia is going to be making a kid-friendly butter chicken together with some, I think it was naan bread or roti. I'm not too sure. Is there a difference between naan bread and roti?
Naan is a little thicker, roti is a bit thinner.
But the mixture is much the same.
Almost the same, but naan will have something else. And naan has to be more proofed.
The roti is actually easier because I'm always about the easy option. Give me the easy.
More easy. Roti is you don't have to prove it. Like the naan has to be proofed for 2 hours because only then it will become soft. But the roti, so we have grown up eating hot rotis. Mom used to put them on the gas and cook it, and they used to eat and like poor mom, she was the last one in the house to eat the rotis. So that is how we Indians have grown up, and especially the men folk, they were always served first. We ladies used to eat it and eat later. So that's our Indian tradition. It's gone now. Everybody has become smarter. So I will share some, like even with the rice, there was a simple boiled rice recipe in Thermomix. But with that one boiled rice recipe, I change it into different things. So I'll make a quick vegetable pulao with it by just adding a bit of vegetables and a little bit of saffron and cumin seeds, and so instead of 350 grams of the rice, I will take 275 grams of the rice and add mixed vegetables to it, add a little bit of saffron, follow the same time, same everything, and it becomes a quick pulao. Then we have something called a khichdi, which is yellow color rice, but we add moong dal to it. So moong dal is another lentil, which is a very good protein for young children. When the baby starts eating her first food, we will give moong dal to the baby because it has got a lot of protein. And so we add a little bit of moong dal, the rice, and a little bit of turmeric and cumin seeds. So cumin seeds, turmeric, red chili powder, garam masala. Always there in the Indian pantry. We will always find it. And curry powder, of course.
I love that. A quick list of Indian cooking pantry essentials. Tell us again. I'm going to write it in the chat box. Indian pantry essentials are
Turmeric powder,
turmeric,
red chili powder,
red chili powder, garam masala. What was the last one?
curry powder.
And there's lots of curry powders on the market. Is there a really popular one that you think suggest for the Thermomix one?
So the hotter one is the Madras curry powder, which is like really hot. And there's a simple curry powder, which has got 2 or 3 ingredients different from the other recipe. But I make both and I keep it because one is really hot sambar or something. I've got lots of spices. If you all want to see it, I'll quickly run to my pantry and show you all while this is cooking. Give me a second.
So, guys, you'll see I've put the cookie dough recipe there for the sabji that Shernaz is going to be cooking on Wednesday with us. And she's going to start it off by making the everyday everyday Indian paste.
I'm not going to make the paste because that takes 20 minutes. So I'm just going to show you all the ingredients in it, and I already have a bottle in my fridge. So I'll start using that because otherwise it is 20 minutes to cook and then the sabji is another 20 minutes. So let's see, this is the garam masala and then this is your tikka masala. I've not just labeled it, but it's a dry tikka masala, which I use in quite a few things. I'll give you a little tip, friends. If you have plain mayonnaise in the house, and if you add a little bit of tandoori paste to it, it becomes tandoori mayonnaise. How's that?
If what? If you have plain
mayonnaise?
Oh, mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just add a teaspoon of tandoori paste to it. It will become a tandoori mayonnaise, and it tastes yummy. So it gives that little this on the sandwiches. I make coriander and chili chutney, and I add that 1 teaspoon. So if I've got guests, I'll make the plain mayonnaise as the base, and then make 1 green color this to eat with your chips, 1 tandoori paste, 1 whatever colors come into my head, I will make them into it. Just mix it with mayonnaise and this. So these are all the beautiful dry spices in my house. This is the sambar powder that I spoke about. And these are the beautiful jars that we get on our mix shop, isn't it, Michelle? I just love these beautiful.
Yes, one of the ladies was saying that they loved how you have chosen to put your spices in those little yogurt jars. But you can get spice lids for those yogurt jars now, so they are multifunctional, which is awesome. Now, I wanted to ask you one of the things I was thinking of. So whilst I've got you there, Shernaz, I was thinking to make either a lentil curry like a dal on Thursday, and then to make alongside it an onion bhaji.
Onion bhaji?
Yeah.
That's the bhajiyas.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, but I think the bhajis have to be fried. So if you can do it.
Yeah, okay, I've got a fryer. I can pop them in the fryer.
No, they won't work in the air fryer.
I've got a deep pan fryer.
Okay, fine. Then that should be okay. Yeah. Well, then it's like a snack for us. So when we used to come to school home in the evening, Mom, we're very hungry. Mom used to make potato bhajis or onion bhajis or whatever is. Yeah. And then when we grew up, she used to mix up the leftover vegetables with the chickpea flour and make it into small bhajis and give that to us. So it all depends. Even bananas, if you have the raw bananas, I don't know if you all have ever seen the green color raw bananas. If you chop them into slices and put them in this chickpea flour dough and fry them, it becomes banana bhajis.
Wow, I like it.
2 minutes and the chickpea curry should be done. It should be done after this.
Diane's put a question there, and I'm not going to say it because I don't know how to. How do you pronounce this word?
What? The bhajis?
No. Can you see it on the screen? Chhole.
Oh, chole. It's called the chole. Chhole. Chole. Chh is ch and ole.
What is that?
That's the chickpea curry. So it's called
chole. Oh, it's called chole.
So see, these are the little puris that I have made. And then you can just break it and put a little bit of chickpea curry inside and put it into your mouth. Or you can eat it with naan or roti, or you can eat it with rice. And then if you have made potato patties, just smash the patties little and then put this chickpea curry on the top and add a little bit of green chutney or whatever you like, yogurt. You can eat this with, we always have this chickpea curry in our house. At least once a week it's made. It's just like, if you don't want to eat anything, chickpea curry is always there. Eat it. In my house, you'll find the chickpea curry, a sabji, and a lentil, which is always there in the fridge. Because I'm a vegetarian, so I have to look after myself. These 3 things. And then I've got 2 young ones who come into at my house with my grandsons. So they love eating all this. So my daughter always says, Mom, you're going to make them vegetarians like you. I said, yeah, you feed them the chicken. I'm going to feed them the vegetarian.
It's a great mix. No, it looks divine. And I love that it's so hands-free. So what would you be doing Now, Shernaz, whilst your machine is doing all the hard work of cooking for you, what do you do to keep, you've got 20 minutes or whatever, 15 minutes here. So what do you normally do?
I always have a pile of clothes to be folded. And always consultants will make fun of me. Oh, Shernaz, you always talk about clothes. I said, yes, but that's what it is. Because clothes are always, then I would iron my clothes. And then if I have got other things, I'll catch up on my TV serials because I normally miss out those things with the little boys around.
I love it. Clothes is my never-ending nightmare.
It's a never-ending. This, I'll show you the chickpeas.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So if you would like to add some water, you can add some water. I'm going to empty this in a thermoserver, which will keep it warm for us till we eat our dinner at 6 o'clock. So I'm just going to empty it.
It's a lovely thick curry, isn't it?
Yes. That's why I said, don't worry, it will not become thin. But if it becomes thin, and see how beautifully the chickpeas have not got smashed inside. If you see.
They're still whole, which is lovely. Someone's saying, I can't see there, Donna is saying we need to have a smell function on our Zoom setting because wouldn't that be good? A quick sniff.
The smell function will come for our grandchildren.
Press here for a quick sniff.
Because we as consultants get a lot of funny questions. Like I got one on my last cooking. I'm at a movie. Will Thermomix cook my food for me? I said, maybe not this generation, but
who knows?
From now may have a Thermomix cooking food for them while they are watching a movie. So I said, okay, that is it. So how people have got used, embraced the technology so well. That is what I like.
We have.
No,
that looks fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. We are at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, the last is add the raisins if you like to give that sweet taste.
Yeah.
Raisins. So if you like the sweet taste, just add golden raisins to it, which we all like. So we're going to put it.
So you just mix those through separately.
Yes, and I'm just going to put it and leave it.
And that's ready for dinner.
Yes, and I'm going to eat with the puris that I showed you. So we are going to eat this.
Those are lovely. Yes.
They are known as golgappas in India.
We have those in cookie dough?
No. This is like there are puris, but this is a lot of thing because they are dried in the hot sun, and New Zealand weather doesn't allow us to dry them, so we buy these ready-made. But in India, we used to make them because we had hot sun all throughout the year. So thanks for listening to my talk for the last 40 minutes. I hope I've entertained you enough.